Hello and welcome to Treasury Notes, a financial education program from the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office. I'm your host, Gina Joins. Planning for retirement is one of the top priorities for individuals who want financial stability. The West Virginia State Treasurer's Office helps public employees with this planning through the state's Supplemental Retirement Program. West Virginia Retirement Plus is a 457 plan designed to supplement the state's retirement program available to all state and public employees. After a competitive bid process, Empower Retirement was recently named the new administrator of the program. Coming up in today's show, we'll talk with the Deputy Treasurer of the West Virginia Retirement Plus program and an outreach member of Empower Retirement about how this change may affect you as an account holder. But first, let's talk about some other initiatives from the Treasurer's Office. Back in April, our office was one of many organizations across the state that participated in a national initiative called Money Smart Week. The goal of Money Smart Week is to make financial education available to the public at no cost. Topics included everything from college savings strategies to fraud prevention. This year, the Treasurer's Office held events to educate West Virginians both personally and professionally. Kim Ward has more.
For Money Smart Week 2016, the Treasurer's Office started and ended the week with financial education initiatives for the youngest citizens of our state. At a Smart 529 open house in Beckley, Treasurer Perdue talked about relieving the financial stress of education expenses by saving in advance with a Smart 529 college savings plan. Statistics show that children who know they have savings for college are much more likely to obtain higher education. One way to make sure children are aware of that savings plan is to encourage them to dream and plan for the future.
And get them to start dreaming at a very young age that they can go to college and that they should go to college or go to technical educational school or some advanced education that will change their life.
For two Raleigh County students, that planning and dreaming is already paying off. They were recognized at the event for being named regional winners in the Smart 529 When I Grow Up essay contest. Their schools were also awarded for the students' hard work.
On behalf of the 529 plan, we want to present a $500 check to Maxwell Hill Elementary School. Let me present you a check, Victory Baptist Academy, for $500.
A total of 15 regional winners were selected from around the state. Later this year, one of them will be named the grand prize winner during a random drawing at the awards ceremony. Other events during this Money Smart Week were aimed at city and state government workers, as well as business owners. The State Treasury Cash Handling Conference, held in Raleigh County, offered training and guidelines for proper cash handling procedures and compliance.
It's essential that we handle cash and credit card payments in a proper way, and we have the correct training and the strong practices and securities necessary to protect the taxpayers' money and your agencies.
This training seminar for state and local government employees is a continuing education opportunity to ensure that all agencies are implementing the same procedures and best practices for handling money.
But for general cash receipt documents, you do not have to enter any vendor customer information on this line.
To make sure that we're compliant, because I know all that started in October, so I want to make sure that we're good.
What's going to change is for the agencies who have POS terminals. Now they're going to have to fill out their MSAQ.
Another popular topic at the Cash Handling Conference was recognizing and preventing fraud.
I really wanted to learn on the fraud and the credit card fraud because I deal a lot with credit cards and payments.
So just capture that information. They got your name, they got your card number, and they got your PIN.
State employees attending the Cash Handling Conference, as well as local business representatives attending an unclaimed property workshop, were educated on the importance of passing along unclaimed funds to the Treasurer's Office.
Understanding the importance of the law and understanding how important it is to return that money to the rightful owners.
Once these are entered into OASIS, we actually forward a file to unclaimed property for these payroll funds.
With more than 100 people in attendance, the conferences were considered a huge success.
It's been a very good conference. It's opened information areas and people to contact.
I hope you take what you've learned back to your agencies to back to your coworkers and improve best practices in your office as well.
To round out Money Smart Week, the Treasurer's Office held an official grand opening of the new Financial Education Center at the state capitol.
2, 3.
This hands-on learning center is designed to teach financial concepts to children.
Taking care and learning about money, that is very, very important. And the younger we can start doing that, the better West Virginia will be as people become more financially sound.
The Financial Education Center features activity stations, each with a different element to engage children.
I love the way that everything's categorized. The students can go from activity to activity. There's plenty of space around for them to gather with a small group to do the activities, and they're based on the curriculum that we're covering in the classroom.
Students from Kanawha City Elementary were among the first to visit the new Financial Education Center.
When Treasurer came in here, I was really excited because I really didn't think he would come in here. I was like, oh my gosh.
The center's focal point is the Treasurer's Vault display, where kids can hear a message from the Treasurer, read facts about the Treasurer's office, and do the Spend, Save, Share activity. Kids who visit the center will receive stickers and instructions to recreate the activity at home with their own Spend, Save, and Share banks. Another popular activity is where kids can hold $1 million. This box contains actual money that was retired by the Federal Reserve and then shredded. And of course, kids love the Picture Yourself on a $100 bill activity.
Getting my face on a $100 bill.
That's pretty cool.
Well, actually, it was picture yourself on that $100 bill.
You can learn more about the Treasurer's Financial Education Center on our website at wvtreasury.com. Just click on the Education tab. While you are there, you can fill out a simple form to request a visit for your classroom or group. When planning your visit to the Financial Education Center, be sure to include a tour of the Treasurer's Vault located in the Treasurer's main offices. Reporting for Treasury Notes, I'm Kim Ward.
All right, thanks so much, Kim. And we are excited about the new Financial Education Center at the state capitol. We hope you will consider making it a part of your next visit. Again, just go to wvtreasury.com for more information. From financial education for children to saving for retirement, the State Treasurer's Office is dedicated to helping the people of West Virginia create a better future. Since taking over as administrator of the West Virginia Retirement Plus plan back in 2006, Treasurer John Perdue has continued to make changes to offer the best plan possible to state workers. After a competitive bid process, Empower Retirement was recently named the new plan manager. And joining us today to discuss the change and how it may affect you as an account owner is Deputy Treasurer Jack Berry from Empower Retirement. We have Danette Roush. Thank you both for joining me here today. We're excited to talk about the Retirement Plus plan and some of the new features that we're going to have with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Jack, let's just start out. You're fairly new with the program. You recently took over as Deputy Treasurer of the program, and this is a really good time for us as well. So welcome and welcome aboard.
Thank you. I came aboard in December, right in the middle of the transition from Voya to Empower. Was there through the last portion of that, and it was something that was very interesting, and I really appreciate the Treasurer giving me this opportunity to lead this program.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about the transition. Many people may be wondering why we changed providers for the West Virginia Retirement Plus plan, but that's a pretty standard thing to have that happen every so often when you look at that. So can you explain that process to us a little bit?
Well, it's in all state government. The state purchasing guidelines require that every so often that you go out for an RFP so that you might be able to provide better services for the individual, in this case, the participants of the 457 program.
Yeah, and an RFP, request for proposal.
Correct.
For people who don't know what that is. And so Empower Retirement is considered now our third-party administrator, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So Danette, thank you again for being with us. And when we talk about being a third-party administrator, first of all, congratulations on Empower's new role with the state. But what does that really mean? What is your role going to be, and what does that mean that you will do as our partner with the state?
Mm-hmm. As your record keeper with your plan participants and working directly with the Treasurer's Office, then we will administer your plan, record keep, we educate, and we help with investment management services to capabilities with your plan participants. As a leading provider within the retirement services industry, Empower Retirement is ranked highly compared to their peers in regards to financial stability, our participant growth, our system innovation, and our fee disclosure, as well as our participant experience.
So a lot of key items that Empower is bringing to the table now. This transition actually took place back in January. Were the participants required to do anything, or was there anything special? I mean, it's a big undertaking to make that type of transition, of course.
It is, and we take most of that on as the record keeper, so participants did not have to do anything. We did proactively reach out to participants through a transition bulletin and with meetings held throughout the state to invite them to come and ask questions, inquire about the change, and let them know what a seamless transition they'll have ahead.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add about the transition, what you guys are going to bring to the table?
I think at this point in time, working directly with the Treasurer's Office, we look forward to helping the plan participants in reaching their retirement goals and getting retirement ready.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jack, you know, as you mentioned, you were coming on board right as the transition was happening. I think most people were pleased with how the transition went. How do you feel the transition went, and what has been the feedback since you've been here? Because I'm sure you've received some feedback.
I have. I was pleasantly surprised. I know this was a great undertaking. We have some 17,000 participants in the plan, and it runs normally around $190 to $192 million. So the size of that kind of was daunting, but the folks at Empower actually did take the lead. And when I came in, I worked with Christine Marbadone, and she had things pretty much set up. So we kind of took everything and went running right away.
Yeah, it's been a team effort.
Yeah, it was no problem. It's been a great deal, and I think it's been a good service for the participants too. We received a lot of phone calls in the beginning asking why we had changed so many times. I think people had thought that when we were ING and changed to Voya, that was a change in the record keeper, but that was not. That was just a change in the name of the company, and then also changing to Empower. You know, we feel very comfortable with them. They've been very responsive to whatever questions and that we've asked, so I feel comfortable with the transition.
Yeah, that's a really good point. For anyone who is familiar with the Retirement Plus plan, and many of our participants out there who may be watching, ING did change to Voya, and it was probably just maybe within a year span of then Empower being awarded the new contract. So it felt like a lot of changes.
But that was just a change in the name. That was not a change in the provider. This has actually been a change in the provider, and we think it's good. They're one of the best in the government sector that there is.
And yeah, actually, when we talk about one of the best, you guys really lead the way when it comes to states and doing the retirement programs for the states. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We are the leader when it comes to record keeping for retirement plans, including 24 plus states, and state of West Virginia being our most recent one. So we're thrilled that we are able to partner with them in regards to this, and as part of all that, we continue to make a force within the industry for our plan participants and our plan sponsors.
Okay, let's talk about the participants. Changes, will they see some changes in their plan? Have the investment options changed at all? Are there going to be some things that are coming up?
So they did have a change through the transition process in investment options. So working directly with the investment consultant, they did look for savings opportunities, and where those existed, there was a change that occurred.
Sure. You also have added another option that wasn't available to participants before, and this is the Roth portion of the plan, which is for after-tax contributions. Can you tell us a little bit about that option and what that is for participants and how they can take advantage of that?
The Roth feature is an after-tax, so they can contribute into the plan with after-tax contribution. It's a great opportunity for those individuals that might be in a higher tax bracket at the time of retirement. And then at the time of retirement, if they've met certain criteria and requirements, and they can take that money tax-free. So that's a great opportunity for them. It also gives the flexibility for an individual to defer on a pre-tax, a Roth only, or a combination of the two that works best for them.
So this is just a different way for people to save, and they can do it directly out of their paychecks, right?
Directly out of their paycheck, just like they do today with their pre-tax money.
Yeah, and this is just a different option for them. So obviously they can just call if they have questions and sit down with some of the representatives that you have as well, right?
Correct. And including our call center, they can always call and have conversations there as well in regards to the Roth feature.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Jack, with all these changes, you know, it always comes down to cost. And has there been an additional cost to participants, or will they see some changes in the fees?
The biggest thing is they actually see the fees. This company is very transparent and upfront with the fees that are charged. In the beginning, we got a lot of calls from folks wanting to know why the fees were being charged, and they thought that they had never been charged before. But we explained to them that this fee was charged previously. It just was not disclosed up front the way that Empower does that. And as far as the change in the fees, we have looked at them. It's pretty much an even match. Some were just a little higher, some were lower, but overall, we pretty much are on the same fee structure.
Yeah, you have to look at it
Yeah, you have
overall.
to look, right.
Okay, Danette, talking about fees, as we said, this is one of the enhancements that Empower did bring to the table, is this transparency feature, which can be confusing to participants, let's be honest. Explain how that can sometimes be confusing and what your company can do to kind of reassure people that they're not being charged extra. This is just a new feature for them.
So as Jack indicated, they do have fees that they were paying for in the past as well. What we've brought to the table is a fully disclosed feature. So it comes through on their monthly performance fund sheet that they can locate on their participant website. And it's the administration and the investment expense ratios that are then added to their existing investment options that they can see now versus when before they could not.
All right. And people can, of course, contact Empower, as I said before. If they have questions, what should they do if they are worried about something on their statement, or if they just have some confusion over this transition?
So we have 2 fully dedicated plan counselors in the state, and they help educate, they can help answer questions, they help individuals reach their retirement goals. Projected retirement income is a big piece of that puzzle, so sitting down and talking to one of those counselors can always be an option. Another option is calling our 800 number, which is the call center, and they can have account balance questions answered there, and that's available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
All right. All right, well, we are talking about the West Virginia Retirement Plus. I'm here with Jack and Danette, and we appreciate you guys talking with us, but we are going to pause for a quick break right now. We're going to talk more of the changes people will see with Empower when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back to Treasury Notes. I'm your host, Gina Joins. We are talking today with Jack Berry, Deputy Treasurer of the West Virginia Retirement Plus program, and Danette Rausch from Empower Retirement. Empower recently took over as the administrator of the West Virginia Retirement Plus, and today we're talking about some of the new features available to plan participants since the change took place. Thank you again both for being here, talking about changes to the plan and what that means for participants. But Jack, I want to touch base with you about the participants. We talk a lot about state employees when we talk about the 457 Retirement Plus program, but we also cater to political subdivisions. What does that mean for
That's
people
correct.
who don't know?
One of the my background is in the political subdivisions, and that would be your boards of education, your county commissions, your cities, and other entities that are funded through the county commissions. So all of those are eligible and allowed to participate in the program. We have outreach that we go speak to them and talk to them and explain the plan to them. We go to board meetings. We also go to county commission meetings or wherever we're asked to explain to the commissions and the boards but also to have meetings with the employees to explain to them what the benefit is to them to get them ready to retire.
So if you work for a county, a city, a school board, your political entity has to adopt the plan, correct, for
That's
you
correct.
to start participating. And if that's something you want to do, we of course encourage people as an employee, if you think this is right for your office and it's not something that they're currently doing, reach out to them or reach out to us, and we'd love to set up a meeting as well with them, I'm sure.
That's great. That's what we're there for, and we would just suggest they call the Treasurer's office, the main number, and ask to speak to someone in 457 Retirement Plus.
Yep, 558-5000, all they need to do if they're interested in adopting that program. And it really is a great program. It's a great opportunity for people to save. And we hear about this so much, Danette, saving for retirement. Start saving now, start saving early. You can never save enough. Let's talk a little bit about the website, because I know that's a really useful tool, and that's where everybody goes now to get their information, is the web. We have the website, the same website, wv457.com, wv457.com. That's what people go to. That's what they've always gone to for information. But now Empower has kind of taken it over, given it a facelift. Tell us about some of the features we're going to see on there.
So during the transition process, we were able to walk through and discuss design and capabilities and branding and look and feel to make this really a website that was about and for the plan and their participants. So it did have a new rebranding that came through, and it does have a new tagline of building a bridge to your future. This allows participants to walk through. It has a smart phone look and feel to it. So it's easy to access information, and then 1 or 2 clicks, your transactions are complete.
And it's not just about your transactions, but I really love the website because now you have, and we've had this before, but I think it's just maybe a little easier to use the calculator, and you can really kind of get in there and do some calculations for yourself and for your family to see where you stand. Talk about that.
The Retirement Readiness tool. This is a great feature that's on the participant website. It does allow a participant to go in, receive a projection of what they have today about in regards to what they may have at retirement, give them a recommendation on what they could have if they took certain steps, and then allow them to make those steps or take that action in order for them to reach that retirement goal. And they can come in and access that at any given time throughout the time when they're using the website.
So is there anything else about the website that you want to talk about, just about how it's going to be for plan participants and what they'll have access to?
So they'll continue to have access to the plan features, new things that do come on board, communication, able to make transactions, beneficiary information updates, all that's included. And the key piece to that retirement readiness tool, so we've discovered through research, is that individuals really associate better to a projected monthly retirement amount versus an accumulated balance.
Okay. So they're going to see it in a different way then?
Different way.
Okay. All right. Well, Jack, the first line of contact for most employees is their employer or payroll coordinator, as we talked about. Do these people need to do anything differently to get enrollees in the plan and keep the information up to date with Empower? Is there anything you're advising on that front?
You know, they really don't, because we held a workshop back in March. Empower came and sponsored that to teach the agencies and some of the local governments exactly how they wanted that to happen. And talking to most of the folks, it was basically the same thing they were doing before. The main thing that we have done, I think we have about 201 people that are submitting money. We have 45 that are by check, and the rest of them are doing it electronically. So those are things that are making it more efficient and easier for the local governments and also for Empower.
Okay, we've been talking a lot about the transition, but let's just take a step back. And Jack, if you could kind of tell me why you think it's important that people look into this option and start saving at an early age.
Well, if you work 25 years in public employment, your retirement's only going to pay about 50% of what you're actually earning today. Then you can look at Social Security, and Social Security is going to fill in some of the gap. We don't know exactly what that's going to be at that time, or actually at what age you're going to retire. So the 457 is to fill in there. It will actually help you, and actually help you as you work, earning your money tax deferred.
And Danette, same question for you. Let's talk about that retirement planning in general. What are some things people need to be thinking about, and what are some important things they need to remember when they are talking about saving for retirement?
So the key is to keep their account information updated, and part of that's through their employer. They can also interact with us through the participant website or on a form. One key piece of information is that beneficiary designation. So they can update their information with a form or on the participant website. And then we also place that information on the quarterly record-keeping statement that they receive. So if they're missing the beneficiary information, then we'll provide a message to them to ask them to take action and designate a beneficiary.
That's really an important step that a lot of people forget about, or they forget about changing beneficiaries when a life-changing event happens. And when should they change a beneficiary?
So they should change when it's convenient for them and what works best for them and their family, but having it on the quarterly record-keeping statement and the website can continue to prompt them to look at it and make sure that their account is updated so that if anything occurs in the event for them, that it's then being placed with their family or the beneficiary that they designated.
And I keep saying start saving early. We hear that all the time. What if you maybe didn't start saving early? Are there ways to catch up? Are there ways people can really, even if they're maybe a little later in life, a little more advanced in their career, continue to save? Are there any special strategies for them?
There's two good options that are available. So one is the individual that's over age 50, so they can contribute an additional $6,000 to the existing $18,000. So that gives them a total of $24,000 after age 50. And then second could be an option called the 3-year catch-up, and that's really taking 3 years prior to your normal retirement age, looking at the underutilized years that you had, so really you were not maxing out the contribution, and then taking those contributions and utilizing them in the last 3 years of your retirement, or of your employment.
Sure.
And then working directly with our plan counselors, they can help the individual decide what might be the best option for them.
Jack, are there any other things you want to add about just what the 457 plan offers, and what are some of the benefits to the participants?
One of the big things that sticks out in my mind is that you're able to put in $10 a payday into this, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it gets you started. But the thing that does, that allows you to have access to some of the best money managers that there is, and Empower has great people that work for them and invest their money. The other thing is that with the 17,000 participants that we have, the costs are shared. You don't have the upfront cost or the back-end cost to get out of the plan.
Right. It's the more people we have in it,
the
better you save. Yeah.
That's correct.
Any final thoughts, Danette?
It has been wonderful working directly with the Treasurer's Office through this transition, and we look forward to the future and working with them and having their participants reach their retirement goals and be retirement ready.
Well, we appreciate everything you're doing, and Jack, again, I'd like to say, I know you've been here for a little while, but welcome aboard. We're excited to continue working on the West Virginia Retirement Plus program, and happy to have you both here with us today. But that's all the time we have right now. Thank you out there for joining us. Remember, you can always get the latest news and information from the State Treasurer's Office. Follow us on Facebook, we're on Twitter, or you can always go to our website at wvtreasury.com. Keeping you informed on the Library Television Network, I'm Gina Joins with the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office.